that was like my first exposure, I suppose, to Animal Crossing. At first, I didn't like understand at all like the charm of
Yeah,
it,
exactly. Yep,
and
yep.
then and then it was like, and then after I played it for like an hour, and then 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, it became like this basically like mindless, almost like this mindless game where you're just completely brain dead and you're just like doing things just for the sake of it, like catching bugs
Right.
or like selling shit. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing about Animal Crossing though. Like, okay, for those of you who are maybe listening and don't know what Animal Crossing is, maybe you live under a rock, or like I don't know, you just don't know what Animal Crossing is and you want to know. It's basically just, it's kind of like I don't know if you've played Harvest Moon before, but it's kind of something to do with just everyday life, living your best life in an island, and having like villagers who are animals, and you have like many tasks from them, and that's what you do. And you collect bugs, you fish, and then you also try to upgrade your house, and then you meet the villagers as well as the entities in that island of yours. And yeah, you're right. That was actually my first time playing Animal Crossing. It was also on the DS, the fat DS. You know, the very
Yeah, yeah,
first
yeah.
one, the
The
silver
very
one. Yeah, not DS Lite, but the fat DS.
the
I still
fat
have it with
yes.
me.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I still
god.
have it with me, but like it's really like freaking ancient, right? But I remember
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid, I think I was like around 8 years old or nine. I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't know the concept of the game at all. Like there was no plot, right? That's the thing with
Yeah, there
Animal Crossing.
wasn't any story. Like the only story was that you had to work for the who was it? Nook, I think is
Tom
his
Nook,
name.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, he was
raccoon,
Nook.
right? Yeah, and like I mean you had debts to pay because of your house and you pay him in installments and he keeps asking you whether like you've paid it for him or not. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, there's no like driving plot line where you have to follow it, you know. All I remember was just like the gossip running around town that was like kind of fickle. Because like you talk to one of the villagers and they're like, did you know that X has something in his closet? Oh my. And then it's like when you go back talking to X, it's as if it doesn't happen, you know?
Ah, yeah, yeah. Actually, the funny
Please.
thing is that, like, you know, in the DS version, right? So in the DS version of the like the Animal Crossing,
Right. Yeah.
I because I thought it's like some kind of weird version. Because like back then, just like you, I didn't really understand like the charm of it, and like even when I did understand like the charm of the game itself, I was thinking to myself, I was like, this game is kind of like a 3D version of like Harvest Moon or something like that, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
I thought. It's like, oh, so it's like imagine Harvest Moon but without like the farming aspect of it. It's just like something that you meet other people, you know, you do whatever you want. You know,
Right.
there's not really a underlying plot, you know, behind that. It's like
Right.
you just do
Okay,
whatever you want, essentially.
but but to be fair, Harvest Moon actually did have a plot in a way, because like when you try to talk to the villagers around, you kind of understand like some of the lores happening around Harvest Moon. You know, like there's actually
Mm-hmm.
plot or there's actually depth behind the characters that you interact with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think with Animal Crossing, it's like not so much. There's not much depth to the characters. As in, like you have some of their quirks. I know most of the time, like there are the jock, the ones that like want to work out and stuff like that. And there's like the fashionista diva kind of villager.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah,
I,
the
yeah,
archetypes. Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
right. But there's nothing out of like beyond that. I don't know how to explain, but like there's not much complexity when it comes to the dynamics of the town that you were playing in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why you're right. Like I always think of it as like it's in the same trope as Harvest Moon, even though it kind of isn't if you think about it. Like it's not
Yeah, no,
actually
no, because
based
like it
around.
definitely is. Like so, for example, with like the Animal Crossing, like there's so many things you can do. You can dig up for like treasures. You could
Right.
catch bugs. You can fish, which is like to some degree is like something that's available in other games as well. But it's just something about like I said, like I mentioned, the fact that like the Animal Crossing is like there's some kind of like that almost brain dead aspect of the game. Like I don't mean it in a bad way or anything. It's just like
Yeah, yeah.
you could play the game and not be under pressure and just enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, you know. It's like,
Right.
oh, you want to collect all the fishes, go ahead. You want to collect all the bugs, go ahead, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's what made it very like mindlessly fun when I was playing it when I was a kid. Like I remember playing on it for hours, not even knowing what I was doing, just fishing a lot, talking to the villagers, thinking up of like stories of the villagers, gossiping around, and then like just exploring the town, the mails, the museum. I want to get back to that too. Um,
Mm.
but but like I don't know. I think for me now, one of the reason why I'm not actually that so driven to buy is actually that concept because it was so mindless. I'm afraid that like now, knowing that I'm a bit more grown up and stuff, it might get a bit boring to me. Like I will
Mm-hmm.
just play it for maybe constantly for a week and then I'll stop and then I feel like would it be a waste of me just buying a Switch just for 1 week of
Oh, like this.
mindless fun?
I see. I see.
Yeah, yeah, but then again, it goes back to the fact that like if I play and you play, you're able to actually visit me, and we can actually play together for once.
Yeah, you
That's
can
kind
hang
of the
out and shit
thing.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's kind of the reason why like I'm interested in buying the Switch just for Animal Crossing because of that. Is the fact that like I don't have to be a lonely ass kid anymore playing by myself.